Oh, hi. My name is Wade Jones. I'm an astronomer, botanist, film director, and anything in between. Now, have you people ever wondered, I wonder how a nuclear power plant runs? Or how does nuclear energy affect the environment? Or just what uranium is? Well, to be frankly honest, I never really had these questions, but I'm forced by law to do this video. So, I'm going to be teaching you all what uranium is. And I guess it's pretty nifty that I'm wearing my second favorite shirt in my entire wardrobe. My first favorite being a Metallica shirt. Now,
Dude, what are you doing?
Now, let's talk a little bit about uranium. But before we talk about uranium, we're going to have to talk a little bit about my favorite thing in the world, nuclear energy. Let's go. Now, of course, nuclear energy, or nuclear power, whatever you want to call it, it can be formed into electricity, but it's a little more complicated than just that. You see, okay, let me give you a good example. So whenever nuclear energy releases, it can release in two different ways. Now, these two different ways are obviously different. So the first way is nuclear fusion, when two smaller little atoms form together to make one bigger atom. Now, the second way is when one big atom decides to split into a whole bunch of different smaller atoms.
Why did you leave the Smash game?
Oh, look, it's my friend. Let's hope he can help us out. May you please go down to Dollar General and help me get some supplies?
You didn't answer the question.
Come on, man, just help me out.
Alright, fine. What do you need?
Alright, I need the information on how a nuclear power plant runs.
Fine.
Oh, you'll find it in the video.
Okay, thanks.
Alright. Now, while he goes out to Dollar General, let's talk a little history. Hey, help me out. Help. Alright. Sorry. Now I can have a little bit of room to move around in. So, alright. Now, if you're wondering why all these weird scene transitions are a little wacky, don't look at me, look at the editor. And if you want to know the editor's name, his name is Jackson Jones. And you're looking straight at him in the classroom right about now. Scene transitions beside, let's talk about the history of plutonium. Now, the thing with plutonium is that it goes all the way back to the 1930s. Now, that may seem like a long time, but compared to other forms of energy, that's pretty recent, actually. When we're talking about, let's say, potential energy. I forgot to mention, uranium is actually potential energy, because, it's not really reusable, and you can only really use it once. So it's kind of like coal, except like coal, coal's been around a lot longer, and it's not as powerful. Anyway, back in the 1930s, scientists found out how nuclear power works whenever they were analyzing an atom and then seeing all the particles breaking off in fission. And I'm starting to think, I wonder what that would have looked like.
What you up to?
Nothing much, just observing this atom. Cool, what for? Nothing really, I'm just really bored. Family status for basic 1930s stuff.
Yeah, if we had it a couple months ago.
Yeah. Hold up. Yo, check this out. They're turning into particles. And as everyone else knows, in World War II, nuclear fission was used to make a bomb.
Hey, you want to see something cool?
Sure!
Alright, check this out.
Don't fear though, because unlike that building, we are using nuclear fission to actually use a lot of electricity. In fact, today, 19.9% of all electricity in the US is because of nuclear fission. Thanks to the good old US of A.
I can't believe this guy expects me to find just something labeled nuclear power plants. I don't even know what it is. A book, a letter, a telegraph, who knows? Unless... well, shuck my corn.
Now, uranium, it's really radioactive, like really radioactive. So, you have to be really careful when you're handling with it. Like, you have to get your hazmat suit, all of that. Now, see, radiation is caused by a whole bunch of energy and elements, collide with each other, and then spits back out a whole bunch of nasty stuff. And it's just, it's really bad, like really bad. Now, of course, small amounts of radiation, it barely does anything to a human or any really organism. But, you know, slowly over time, there's more. I mean, it goes downhill, like really downhill. Like, let me give you a good example. I have a dog named Roger. We got in contact with radiation, and, you know, let's just say he has a new hobby now.
What am I hearing?
Oh, hey.
Howdy. Here's the thing you asked for from Dollar General.
All right, I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. You can go now.
What?
What do you mean, what?
What?
Okay, hold on. What country are you from?
What?
What is not a country I've ever heard of? Do they speak English in what?
What?
Do they speak English in what? I've been telling. Go. Just go. All right. Just go.
I'm sorry.
I just scattered that rat. Anyway, since we got this, now we can talk about nuclear power plants. Now that I have this, we could talk about nuclear power plants. And you see, there's actually two different kinds of power plants. We've got nuclear power plants and power plants. I know, they're originally named. So the thing about them, though, is that they actually run off different things. You see, with regular power plants, they run by, like a fuel, so they can give off all that electricity. But you see, with nuclear power plants, they don't. They run off nuclear fission, which we've been talking about, so hopefully you all have been paying attention. Anyway, so, as we were talking about, you see, the thing with nuclear fission is that the heat's given off of it, so, we can get all that electricity. And actually, this is taking place in the reactor, and of course, as everyone knows, inside the nuclear reactor core is where the uranium, which is the fuel that we're using, is being burned as well. Now, it's actually not really being burned, more the heat's going off it, and yada yada. So, when this happens, though, we're not really using uranium, we're actually using something smaller, uranium ceramic beads, basically. And these ceramic beads are around the same size as mine and yours fingernail. And really surprisingly is that they pack a lot of punch. One ceramic bead is around the same amount of power as, 150 gallons of oil. That's quite a bit of oil. I mean, you can go to the Middle East and not get as much, and it'd be around the same as a fuel rod. We'll be talking about fuel rods in just a sec. Now, I've talked about fuel rods in the earlier scene, and I might as well talk about them now. Now, fuel rods are rods filled up with all that fuel. Fuel being those little uranium seeds, or beads, I should say. Anyway, so now of course they put it in the reactor core, and when it's all used up, they gotta send it out, and whenever they do it, it's called spent fuel. And whenever they do this, this makes the fuel non-renewable, but the radioactivity still's there, alright? You know what I mean, bud? Anyway, so the thing with this is that, now they got all this spent fuel, and what are they gonna do with it? You can't just throw it in the trash can. I mean, the raccoons might eat it. I don't want to go outside and see some big buff raccoon ready to kick my butt just because I didn't give him a turkey sandwich. But you see, what they do with it is they actually put it in a pool, like an actual pool. And they made a very original name for it called the spent fuel pool. So now they put all the spent fuel inside of this pool, and you're probably wondering, why are they doing this, Wade Jones? Are they asking that? Anyway, so whenever they do this, the reason why they do this, I should say, is because whenever all this radioactivity is inside this little confined space, it slowly dies down more faster than, say, if you left it out in the open, because if you leave it out in the open, it takes 1,000 years, literally, for the radioactivity to... But, that's what they do with all this spent fuel once they're done. Now, if anyone's watching this currently right now, and you're only paying attention to Larry right here, and you have no idea what I just said, then, well, I hate to say this, but you gotta pay attention more, you schmuck. Anyway, so now let's talk about how nuclear energy affects the environment. Well, you see, it's actually a lot different than you think now. Of course, power plants, yeah, duh, they affect the environment, but nuclear power plants, they actually do not do anything to the environment at all. You see, as I've been talking about, and obviously you all have been paying attention, you see, the thing with nuclear power plants is that they actually don't burn fuel. They use nuclear fission, and remember, those two are not the same thing. Now, the only difference is that if there's an accident, then of course, bad things are going to happen. Like fish having 3 eyes and pugs growing appendages to play the drums right over here. But you see, I mean, even then though, if that doesn't happen, I mean, nuclear energy doesn't really affect the environment at all if there's a nuclear power plant, say, next to a forest or your granddad's house, you know, basic places where a nuclear power plant would be. So, that basically wraps up everything I have to say in this video, and hopefully you all learned a little something from it. Or you just tuned me out. Really, honestly, I don't care, because I love spreading knowledge, and that's what I will do, alright? I'm Wade Jones, and I say thank you for watching, and hope you have a good day.